In today's digital age, we are bombarded with a constant flow of information. News, social media, opinions, and notifications flood our screens at all times of the day. The constant stream of data can feel overwhelming, leaving us feeling mentally exhausted, disconnected, and sometimes even anxious. With so much information demanding our attention, it's easy to lose clarity and become swept away by the chaos around us. But how can we stay grounded and maintain a sense of mental clarity in a world of information overload? Marcus Aurelius offers a timeless Stoic insight. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. This powerful thought teaches us that it's not the information itself that causes us distress, but our reaction to it. Stoicism provides us with the tools to navigate the constant noise, helping us stay grounded, focused, and at peace, regardless of the external chaos. In this video, we'll explore how Stoic principles can help us maintain clarity and avoid being overwhelmed by the flood of information in our modern world. Marcus Aurelius offers us a profound insight when he says, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." This quote addresses one of the central teachings of Stoicism, the power of perception. In a world of constant information, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or distressed by what we see, hear, or read. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us that it's not the external events themselves that disturb us, but our reaction to them. Our judgments, the way we perceive the news, the opinions of others, or the constant barrage of notifications, are what create the mental chaos. Stoicism teaches us that we have the ability to control how we perceive and react to external events, allowing us to maintain clarity and peace of mind in the face of information overload. Marcus Aurelius's profound words, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it," remind us that distress and overwhelm often rise from the way we interpret and react to external events, not the events themselves. In a world where information is constantly bombarding us, news cycles, social media updates, and an endless stream of notifications, it is easy to become mentally exhausted and feel like we're being pulled in every direction. But Stoicism offers us a powerful tool. We control how we respond to the information we consume. The impact of information overload today. Information overload is a real challenge. We are surrounded by endless data, breaking news, social media updates, opinions from every direction. Notifications constantly demand our attention, and our minds are trained to consume and react to whatever we hear or see, often without pause. This constant influx of information can leave us feeling mentally drained, anxious, and disconnected from what truly matters. We often think that we are victims of information overload, that the flood of data is what's making us feel overwhelmed. But Stoicism teaches us that it's not the information itself, but the way we react to it, that causes us distress. When we take in too much information and allow it to dictate our emotions or perceptions, we lose clarity and peace of mind. But by practicing self-awareness and Stoic mindfulness, we can learn to filter out the noise and focus on what truly matters. Stoicism and the power of perception control your reactions. The core Stoic teaching that we control our reactions is especially important when it comes to information overload. While we can't control what information is available to us, we can control how we engage with it. The Stoic response is not to avoid information altogether, but to choose how much we consume and how we interpret it. When faced with overwhelming data or news, instead of reacting impulsively, we can take a moment to reflect. What does this really mean to me? Is this information helping me or harming my peace of mind? Avoid reacting impulsively. In today's fast-paced world, we often feel compelled to react immediately to news or updates. But Stoicism teaches us to take a step back and pause before we react. Reacting impulsively to every piece of information only adds to the chaos in our minds. Instead, we can practice mindfulness by allowing ourselves the space to choose our response. By doing so, we regain our ability to think clearly and act with intention rather than being swept away by emotions or external events. Reframe your relationship with information. Stoicism encourages us to reframe how we relate to external events. Instead of seeing the news, opinions, or social media updates as something we must immediately react to, we can see them as neutral stimuli, information that we can engage with, but without letting it define our emotional state. Information in and of itself doesn't have the power to make us feel a certain way. It is how we interpret it. By changing our perspective on how we consume information, we can maintain mental clarity and peace of mind, regardless of the external chaos. Focus on what you can control. One of the most important lessons of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, the understanding that we can control our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, but not external events. In the face of information overload, it is essential to focus on what we can control, how we react to the information we consume, and how we use our time. By letting go of our need to control everything happening around us, we can choose to engage only with the information that aligns with our values and supports our goals. This practice of intentional focus allows us to live with clarity and purpose. Practice daily reflection. A core Stoic practice is daily reflection, where we take time at the end of each day to assess our actions, thoughts, and emotions. By reflecting on how we've engaged with information during the day, what we've consumed, how we've reacted, we can gain insight into whether we've been mindful or whether we've been swept up in the chaos of external stimuli. This practice helps us refine our approach to information, allowing us to make intentional choices about what we focus on in the future. The peace of clarity, the peace that comes from living intentionally and staying grounded amidst distractions, is profound. When we take control of how we respond to external events, instead of reacting automatically to every bit of information, we can focus on what really matters. Stoic mindfulness allows us to filter out the noise, focus on what we can control, and maintain a clear, focused mind. In a world full of distractions, we regain mental peace by choosing where to direct our attention, avoiding being swept away by external chaos. By embracing Stoic wisdom, we can navigate the flood of information around us without losing our sense of purpose and clarity. We can stay grounded in our values, make decisions based on rational thought, and live with intention, regardless of the distractions that surround us. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded by a flood of information. From breaking news stories to social media updates, to endless notifications, we are exposed to an overwhelming amount of data every single day. This constant barrage can leave us feeling mentally drained, distracted, and anxious as we struggle to make sense of what's important and what's just noise. We are pulled in so many directions that it can be difficult to stay focused on what truly matters. But Stoicism offers a profound way to navigate this chaos. Instead of being overwhelmed by external events and the constant flow of information, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. This Stoic principle teaches us that the distress we feel from external events is not inherent to the event itself, but comes from how we choose to interpret and react to them. When it comes to information overload, we have the power to decide how we respond to the overwhelming data around us, rather than letting every headline, opinion, or social media posts pull our attention in different directions. Stoicism encourages us to act with intentionality. We can choose where to direct our focus and how. To engage with the world around us. The danger of information overload in the modern age. Information overload has become a constant challenge. We are always connected, always scrolling, always consuming, always reacting. While the internet offers us vast amounts of knowledge and opportunities to learn, it also creates an environment where distractions are ever present. The desire for instant updates, breaking news, and the need to keep up with what everyone else is doing can leave us feeling exhausted, mentally cluttered, disconnected from our own priorities. The problem is not the information itself, it's how we choose to interact with it. Constantly reacting to what is happening around us prevents us from focusing on what is truly important, our own goals, values, and principles. Stoicism teaches us that true peace comes when we are able to filter out the noise and focus our energy on the things that align with our values and long-term objectives. Stoic practices for coping with information overload control what you can control. The first Stoic principle that helps us cope with information overload is the dichotomy of control. While we cannot control the flood of external information, we can control how we engage with it. The Stoics teach us to limit our exposure to information that does not serve us and to be intentional in our consumption of knowledge. We have the power to decide what deserves our attention and what we choose to ignore. Shift your focus to virtue. Stoicism teaches that virtue, acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the true good. When we feel overwhelmed by external events or information, we can recenter ourselves by focusing on virtue. Instead of reacting to what is happening around us, we choose to act with purpose and integrity. Focusing on virtuous action keeps us grounded and helps us filter out distractions that do not align with our core values. Practice mindfulness and presence. One of the key Stoic practices is to live fully in the present moment, focusing on what is in front of us right now. Marcus Aurelius frequently emphasized the importance of living in the present, without being distracted by the past or future. In a world filled with information, it's easy to lose sight of the present moment. Stoicism encourages us to be mindful of our thoughts and actions, allowing us to reconnect with the present and filter out external distractions, avoid information overconsumption. The Stoics didn't allow themselves to be consumed by the news or by external events. Instead, they chose to focus on their own growth, values, and purpose in today's world. This is more important than ever. The Stoic approach to information consumption is about intentional engagement, choosing what to consume based on its relevance to our goals and values. Rather than mindlessly scrolling or absorbing endless amounts of data, we focus on the quality of the information we allow into our minds. Daily reflection and self-examination. The Stoics practice daily reflection to ensure they were aligned with their values and to understand how their actions fit into the bigger picture. At the end of each day, they would reflect on their actions, asking questions like, did I stay focused on what truly matters today? Was I swayed by distractions or external events? By reflecting daily, we can assess how we engage with information and make necessary adjustments to stay on track. Peace of clarity and focus. The true peace that comes from Stoic practice is the peace of clarity and focus. By choosing where to direct our attention, we stop being overwhelmed by external noise and regain control over our mental energy. Stoicism teaches us that we don't have to be reactive to everything happening around us. We choose what to focus on, what to engage with, and how to act with purpose. In a world of constant distractions, living with intentionality allows us to focus on what truly matters, our values, our goals, and our growth. By embracing Stoic wisdom, We find peace not in the absence of distraction, but in the ability to focus amidst the chaos, as we wrap up today's reflection on staying grounded. Amid information overload, remember that peace and clarity are not found in avoiding the distractions of the modern world, but in choosing where to focus our attention. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. This profound Stoic teaching challenges us to recognize that the external world, the constant flood of information, is not what causes us distress. It's how we choose to engage with it. By applying Stoic principles, we can filter out the noise, live with purpose, and focus on what truly matters. Mindfulness, virtue, and self-reflection are the Stoic tools that help us navigate the chaos of the modern world with clarity and intentionality. When we embrace these practices, we stop being swept away by external forces and start living with purpose and focus, regardless of the distractions around us. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the information overload, remember that you have the power to choose your focus, act with virtue, stay grounded, and live intentionally, knowing that every decision, no matter how small, contributes to your long-term peace and growth. Thank you for joining us today. If this video resonated with you, subscribe and share it with someone who might benefit from learning how to stay grounded in a world full of distractions together. Let's walk the Stoic path of purpose, clarity, and meaningful action.